Hi, I'm Alex, this is Tank Tested, and we're revisiting Ghazanfar's show-stopping aquascape. Last week I showed you this 215-gallon aquarium. If you'd like to see that video, click the card here or follow the link in the video description. This time, Ghazanfar is taking the lead. You'll be hearing him for the rest of the video, which is divided into 4 sections. So if one of these 4 chapters catches your interest, just click forward to the time code on the screen.
My name is Ghazanfar Ghori, and this is my 215-gallon Oceanic. It's a 6-footer, 29 inches tall. Takashi Amano set up the very big Planet Aquarium display, and now that he's passed, a number of us hobbyists decided to go to Lisbon to take a look at it, and it is amazing. We stayed there the entire day until security literally kicked us out of the facility. I wanted to recreate my version of that in my 215. Because it's wide enough at 6 feet that once you are close enough, even your periphery vision is just aquascape and tank. You can't really see anything else. So it's a fully immersive experience, and that's what I was trying to go for. Right now, this Scape is almost 9 months old at this point. It's getting to a point where it's starting to mature. I'd say the next 6 months is going to be where its prime it's going to be, and then it's going to require maintenance to keep it looking good. The 2 major islands or 2 major sections of the tank are created with black lava rock and then capped with AD Amazonia on top. Most of the plants that are in the tank are epiphytes. From a species standpoint, it takes a segment of what Takashi Amano selected for Lisbon. A lot of these plants are the same ones that he's used in that layout. The Amazon sword on the left side of the tank, it's a Echinodoros argentiensis. This is a 29-inch deep tank, and most of the leaves are actually above the surface of the tank, so it's a very big sword. But I liked it. The texture, the form was very different than most other swords. The red tiger lotuses are easy plants to grow. I selected this again in this tank because it does have a lot of color to it. It's interesting texture. It's easy to maintain. The reason it's easy to maintain is that you can basically pretty much chop all the leaves off almost near the base, and it'll grow in a more compact fashion. The stem behind the bulbitis was never meant to be that big. But that's, I think, Hygrophila corymbosa siamensis, which is a rather compact and narrower leaf form. Because it's a compact grower, it does not require a lot of pruning. It's been in this tank for 9 months now, but only pruned it once. There are 2 species of Corydoras. One is, I think, a Métier. The other one is a variant of Venezuelensis, I think. There are 2 pairs of Pelvicotromus crebensis. That's a fish I love and always want to keep. The larger fish is the male, and he's not as brightly colored. The females, they're much more brightly colored, a lot more yellow, a lot more purple, so it's easy to tell them apart. There are two kinds of tetras. One is what I think is commonly called the candy cane tetra. The scientific name escapes me. The other, I don't want to even attempt to pronounce the scientific name. I don't think it has a common name either. A friend of mine had some of these in his tank, as they're very, very interesting. They certainly demand your attention as you walk up in front of the tank. They're schooled very, very tightly. It's an unusual fish in that it's a tetra, but does not look or resemble or behave like one. I would not be surprised if they're not, but that's what I was told, and the little information I've been able to glean online about them seems to indicate indeed they're a tetra. This tank is on an automatic water changing system, and so every 6 hours a small amount of water goes in, which tops up the evaporation, and then the excess goes down the standpipe and into the drain. It's pure cold tap water that comes in. It is in small enough quantities where I have not had to dechlorinate or bring the temperature up. But it's 215 gallons, and really what amounts to about 6 additional gallons of water that comes in every 6 hours doesn't really seem to affect anything. Shrimp thrive in the tank, fish thrive in the tank, plants thrive in the tank, and I've not had to do anything special. There is CO2 injection. There's an external reactor that's plumbed into the circulation system into the tank. The last I tested the CO2, I think it was roughly 45 parts per million. I think the hobbyist average of 30 ppm is slightly on the lower side. You can actually pump it much higher, and the plants do a lot better. I dose the water column with a macro mix that I've been formulating and using for the last year or so, but essentially amounts to almost 30 parts per million of nitrogen weekly.
So that's Ghazanfar's 215-gallon aquascape. If you like this video, click subscribe and ding the little bell so that you're notified the next time I upload a new episode. I'll see you next time for one of my own scapes. Until then, have a great week.